Hi everyone, this is Rajkumar, DL in Commerce, TTWRDC, Maripeda. My topic is Cost Volume Profit Analysis, CVP analysis. It is one of the important technique, comes under the scope of managerial accounting. Managerial accounting is one of the core subject for become 6th semester students, and the present topic CVP analysis comes under second unit in the syllabus. Today's session I want to cover all the basic concepts of CVP analysis and its assumption and various techniques to analyze the interrelationship between cost, volume and production profit, and the calculation of break even point, its assumptions, importance and limitations. These concepts in this session I want to cover. Now let us examine the cost volume profit analysis. What does it mean? Here three elements you can find: cost of production, volume of production and profit. How they are interrelated? This is nothing but an analysis. This analysis is very crucial for profit planning, decision making by the management in profit planning. Here this technique is used to examine the interrelationship among three basic factors of business operations, that is cost of production, then volume of production and sales, the profit. How they are interrelated? Here the cost of production determines the selling price. Similarly, the selling price determines the level of profit. If the sales price is increased, the profit also increases. And the selling price also affects the volume of sales and volume of production. If the businessman wants to sell his entire quantity, he has to reduce the selling price. As per law of demand, if the price increased, the demand for the good will decreases. Like that, inverse relationship we can find. So the businessman wants to sell the entire quantity, he has to reduce the selling price. It affects the profitability. The profit will decreases. Then the volume of production in turn influence the cost of production. The level of production also affects the cost of production. If the level of operation, if more quantity is produced, the average cost per unit will initially decreases. The decreased cost of production increases the profitability. There is a relationship between the profit, the cost of production and the profit. Hence, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants London defines the cost volume profit analysis as the study of the effect on future profits of change in fixed cost, variable cost, sales price and quantity and product mix. Okay. The cost volume profit analysis examines the effects on profit with changed circumstances. That means changing the cost of production, changing price level, prices, selling price and change in the quantity of production and product mix. So the cost volume profit analysis is very important element to analyze and take decision, managerial decision making. So this relation let us examine with a numerical example. Normal production, he say 100 units produced and the variable cost at the rate of 40 rupees is 4,000. Fixed cost assumed 3,000. Here total cost is 7,000. The sales revenue at the rate of 100 rupees per unit, here 10,000 is the sales revenue. The profit is 3,000. And what is the effect on the cost of production? If the cost of production increased, for example, variable cost is increased from 40 rupees to 50 rupees, then the total variable cost 5,000. Okay, the total cost is 8,000 along with the fixed cost 3,000, and the sales revenue is remain the same 10,000. It yield 2,000 is profit. Profit decreased if the cost of production increase. And what is the effect of selling price? Here selling price is increased from 100 to 120. It yields 12,000 is the sales revenue. The cost of production is remains same 7,000. So here the profit is 5,000. If the sales price is increased, the profit also increases. And what is the effect of volume of the production output? Here 100 units to 200 units the volume is increased. So the variable cost at the rate of 40 rupees on 200 units 8,000 is derived, and the fixed cost remain the same 3,000. The total cost 11,000. The sales revenue at the rate of 100 rupees 20,000 is the total sales. The difference between the total sales and the total cost is profit 9,000. You can examine the when the production is 100 rupees, the profit yield is 3,000. If the production is doubled, here 200 units increased, it must be the profit also increased double, but here 3 times increased. Here 3,000 to 9,000 the profit increased. So this is the relationship between the cost, volume and profit, how they affects on profit. So this analysis is very crucial for profit planning, for the management decision making. Now how the CVP analysis is assumed, the assumptions of CVP analysis let us examine. Here the costs are segregated into fixed and variable cost. Okay, the cost, total cost can be separated as fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost is nothing but the cost which remain constant irrespective of the production. Up to certain level of production, the costs which are remain constant called fixed cost, and variable costs are the costs which directly increase, direct relation with the production. If the production is increased, in the same proportion the cost also increase, like material cost, wages, like that, power consumption. These are variable costs. So if the costs are separated as fixed and variable costs, then only the CVP analysis is possible. Here the CVP analysis in this context only short term analysis. In a long run, all costs are variable costs, there are no fixed costs, but in short run we can classify some costs are fixed and some costs are variable. Okay, that is first assumption. Second, when graphed, the behavior of total revenue and total cost is linear in relation to output units within the relevant range over a period of time. Here the behavior of total revenue and total cost is linear due to no change in selling price, no change in variable cost per unit. Like that, the when we fit these cost curves and revenue curves in a graph paper, the lines are in a straight manner. Okay, the straight lines we can obtain. That shows the linear relationship between various aspects. Then units of next assumption, units produced is always equal to units sold. There are no inventory, change in inventory. There are no fixed opening stock and closing stock, all produced will be sold off. Then next assumption, the unit selling price, unit variable cost and fixed costs are known and constant. Just the relationship, the behavior of the cost curves is in linear. So the selling price per unit is known and it is fixed, it is no change, and variable cost per unit also remain constant. The total fixed cost also remain constant. This is another assumption. Then volume is only the factor affecting variable cost. Hence, variable cost per unit is always constant. If the variable cost per unit say 10 rupees to produce 1 unit, if 2 units are produced, the total the variable cost will be 20 rupees. That means the same proportion in the quantity, the variable cost will increase. It remain constant. Then the analysis either cover a single product or assumes that the sales mix when multiple products are sold will remain constant as level of total units sold changed. Here, when a single product is produced, then we can analyze the CVP, cost volume profit analysis. If multiple products are produced, the total cost of various products should be considered to analyze the relationship between cost volume profit. If a single product, then we can easily analyze what is the relationship between the cost volume profit. If there are multiple products, more than one, then the total cost will be considered to analyze the cost volume profit relationship. These are certain assumptions. Under these assumptions, the CVP analysis will be made. Now, what are the objectives of CVP analysis? The following are the objectives of CVP analysis. Cost volume is a powerful tool for decision making. Okay, the managers has to plan the profit. Profit planning is one of the important managerial decision. So the cost volume profit analysis is one of the important tool for managerial decision making, and it makes use of principles of marginal costing. Marginal costing is another technique which based on the variable cost. Marginal cost is nothing but variable cost in management accounting. So the principle of marginal costing is applicable to CVP analysis. Next, it enables the management to establish what will happen when the financial results, if the specified level of level of activity or volume fluctuates. Okay, the management can establish the relationship between the cost and volumes, and on the basis of this relationship, they can establish the financial results on a specified level of activity. What would be the profit and what would be the volume of sales? To expect a certain level of profit, what should be the quantity of output production? They can take decision. That means the profit can be planned. It helps in determination of break even point and other level of output required to earn desired profit. Okay, here to earn a desired profit, the management has to consider CVP analysis to obtain such a desired profit and how much quantity is to produce. This is a decision making made by managers on the basis of CVP analysis. The CVP ratio serves as a measure of efficiency of each product, factory, sales area, etc., and thus helps the management to choose most profitable line of business. CVP means cost volume profit analysis is one of the technique. PV ratio, profit volume ratio. Profit volume ratio is an indicator to measure the efficiency of the what is profitability, the efficiency of each product. That means how much profit is earned on particular product, and the sales, the factory efficiency and the sales area efficiency also can be measured with the PV ratio with the help of profit volume ratio. So, which is profitable operation, what is activity which is not profitable can be decided with the this measurement. If certain activities are not profitable, then they can be dropped, and other activities are more profitable, then it can be enhanced, expanded. Then it helps to us to forecast the level of sales required to maintain a given amount of profit at a different level of prices. If the management wants to certain amount of profit, if the sales prices are changing, then what would be the sales quantity can be determined. If the sales price is decreased to earn the same level of profit, they have to sell more quantity. Like that, they can plan how much quantity to be sold to earn a desired profit. Like that, these are a few objectives of CVP analysis. Now, what are the techniques of CVP analysis? Number one is marginal cost equation. Second one, the contribution margin. Third one, profit volume ratio, PV ratio, and fourth one, break even point, and fifth one, margin of safety. These are five important techniques to analyze the relationship between the cost of production, volume of production, and profitability. Okay, let us examine how these techniques are used in ascertaining the relationship between the cost and volume and profit. Now, the essentials of PV analysis, CVP analysis are first you can examine the elements of cost. The sales profit can be written in the form of equation. Okay, in a general equation, profit is equal to sales minus the total cost, S minus TC equal to profit. You know, the profit is the excess of sales revenue over the total cost. The total cost include the fixed cost and variable cost, FC and VC. Then we can rewrite the equation as the profit is equal to sales minus variable cost and fixed cost. From this we can obtain the marginal cost equation. Here marginal cost is nothing but an incremental cost to produce one more unit, and here in this case in managerial accounting, marginal cost is the variable cost. Marginal costing is nothing but the ascertaining the variable cost. So, the marginal cost or the variable cost can be calculated by applying this equation. Sales minus variable cost is equal to fixed cost plus profit. This is a marginal cost equation. When we modify this formula, variable cost is equal to sales minus fixed cost and profit. We can obtain the variable cost. Like that, we can change this formula to ascertain the missing one. Here there are the 4 elements: sales, variable cost, fixed cost and profit. If 3 elements are given, the 4th element we can ascertain by applying this formula. So, S minus VC, variable cost, is equal to fixed cost plus profit. It is first equation. Or the sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. Here fixed cost plus profit is nothing but the contribution. Contribution means the sum of fixed cost and the profit together called contribution. The profitability largely depends upon the contribution. So, here the second formula is sales minus variable cost is equal to C, stands for contribution. For example, sales are 25,000, fixed cost 5,000 and the profit is 10%, find the marginal cost. This is a problem given. Here applying the marginal cost equation, sales minus variable cost is equal to fixed cost plus profit. Applying this formula, we can obtain the variable cost is 7,000. Variable cost is 17,500. Okay, 25,000 is sales, variable cost we don't know, the fixed cost of 5,000 and profit is 10% of 25,000 means 2,500. So, variable cost is equal to 25,000 minus 7,500, it comes to 17,500 is the variable cost. Like that, marginal cost equation can be used to know what is the relationship between to ascertain, to analyze the CVP relations. And contribution margin. Contribution, just now I explained about the contribution. It is the difference between sales and variable cost. That means contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost. It is another equation. Alternatively, we can ascertain the contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. Contribution is equal to contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. This is called variable contribution margin. One example, sales is equal to 40,000, variable cost 25,000, fixed cost 10,000. Then find out the contribution and profit. This is the question. Then contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost is the formula. Here 40,000 minus 25,000, it comes to 15,000 is the contribution. Then contribution, alternatively you can calculate, that is fixed cost plus profit. In this formula we substitute the values. We know the contribution 15,000 and fixed cost 10,000. We don't know the profit. Okay, this is profit is missing item. We can ascertain the profit by solving the equation. Contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. Here profit is equal to 15,000 fixed what is contribution minus the fixed cost 10,000. It comes to 5,000. 5,000 is the profit. This is the procedure to ascertain the margin, contribution margin. Now, the profit volume ratio, PV ratio. PV ratio is nothing but the relationship between contribution and sales. Profit volume ratio is the relationship between the contribution and sales. It is termed as a contribution to sales ratio. Okay. It is always expressed in the percentage. If we want to calculate percentage, this value should be multiplied with 100. PV ratio is equal to contribution by sales into 100. We can obtain the PV ratio in percentage. So, PV ratio is equal to C by S into 100. This is the fifth formula. Then PV ratio is equal to sales minus variable cost by sales into 100. This is the sixth formula. You know the contribution. What is contribution? Sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost is contribution. Okay. This is taken as a numerator contribution and a denominator sales into 100. Okay. The PV ratio is equal to sales minus variable cost by sales into 100. This is another formula. Okay. The alternative formula to ascertain the PV ratio is change in profit by change in sales into 100. If the fixed cost, variable cost is not given in the problem, when the sales or profit related to 2 years data is given, we have to ascertain the PV ratio by applying this formula. Change in profit last year and current year. The difference will be taken as numerator, and sales, the change in sales, last year sales and current year sales also considered as here the change in sales is a denominator. We can ascertain the PV ratio by applying this formula. When the cost, fixed cost or variable cost is not given, but only sales of 2 years or profits of 2 years are given in the problem. For one example, here sales is equal to 50,000, variable cost 30,000, then you are asked to calculate PV ratio. Okay, here contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost. This is one contribution formula. Contribution is nothing but the difference between sales and variable cost. By applying this formula, you can calculate the contribution. That means sales 50,000 minus 30,000 variable cost, the contribution is 20,000. By after ascertaining the contribution, PV ratio is equal to contribution by sales into 100. Okay, contribution by sales into 100. Then 20,000 by 50,000 into 100 means 40%. Okay, the PV ratio always expressed in terms of percentages. If we want to express this in fractional values, it can be stated as 0.4. The PV ratio is 0.4 fractional value. If we multiply the fractional value into by 100, we can get the percentage 40%. Alternatively, we can calculate PV ratio directly, sales minus variable cost by sales into 100. Sales minus variable cost is nothing but contribution by sales 100. Here 50,000 minus 30,000 by 50,000 into 100. We can obtain 40% is the PV ratio. What are the uses of PV ratio? To compute the variable cost for any volume of sales, we can ascertain the variable cost at any level of output by applying the PV ratio. To measure the efficiency or to choose the most profitable line, the overall profitability of the firm can be improved by increasing the sales output of the product given a higher PV ratio. When the PV ratio is higher, it yield more profitability. Okay, that is the assumption. So, we can ascertain by applying PV ratio which is a profitable product line and which is non-profitable. We can ascertain the efficiency of the product. So, it is more useful in ascertaining the efficiency of the sales area or product or anything. Then to determine break-even point and the level of output it required to earn a desired profit. if we want to earn a desired profit, we need PV ratio. Okay, okay. Here profit planning, when the management has to make a certain level of profit, what would be the expected sales? We can determine by applying PV ratio. Then to decide more profitable sales mix. Okay, what is the sales mix? Here two or more products are to be sold, and to make the balance among all the product, which product has to which product mix has to be made. Suppose A, B, C, D, 4 products are marketed, then which product is to be sold at which quantity. So to maximize the profitability, minimize the risk, or minimize the cost. So the product mix, the sales mix will be profitable. Sales mix can be ascertained by applying PV ratio. Then break even point. Break even point is the quantity of sales at where the total revenue is equal to total cost. That is no profit, no loss quantity is called break even point. Okay, at this point, all the total revenue is equal to total cost. Total cost means fixed cost and variable cost. Here there is no profit. So sales is equal to variable cost and fixed cost. Okay, such a position is called break even point. Now two methods, how can we calculate break even point? There are two methods. First one is algebraic calculation, mathematical method, and graphical presentation. Okay, fixing the break even points in a graph by use of graph. Now what is the mathematical method of calculation of the break even point? By using different equations as follows. BEP in units is equal to total fixed cost by contribution per unit. Okay, we can ascertain break even point in units. We can ascertain the break even point in units as well as in rupees. If we want to calculate BEP in units, the total fixed cost by contribution per unit is the formula. And when we want to calculate break even point in rupees, then fixed cost by PV ratio, profit volume ratio. This is the formula, total fixed cost by profit volume ratio. Alternatively, we can calculate a break even point in rupees by applying total fixed cost by contribution into sales. PV ratio is nothing but the relationship between contribution and sales. So here PV ratio is taken as a denominator here, contribution into sales is a denominator, fixed cost is a numerator. Like this, applying this formula, you can calculate break even point in rupees. BEP is equal to FC by C into S. Now let us calculate break even point or some other elements by using this example problem. Fixed cost is 20,000, selling price per unit is 20 rupees, variable cost per unit 15. Then you are asked to calculate contribution, PV ratio, break even point in units, break even point in rupees. Let us solve this one. First contribution. What is the formula for contribution? Sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost is contribution. Alternatively, fixed cost plus profit also contribution. Here we don't know the profit. Okay, So that contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost. These are the two elements given in the problem. 20 rupees is sales price, variable cost 15 rupees. The contribution per unit is 5 rupees. First answer. Then second, PV ratio. PV ratio is nothing but the relationship between contribution and sales. Okay, contribution to sales ratio, it is also called as a PV ratio. So the contribution just now we calculated 5 rupees per unit divided by sales price per unit 20. That means 5 by 20. If we want to express this value in percentage, multiply 100. Okay, 25% or 0.25 is the PV ratio. PV ratio is 0.25 or 25%. Then break even point in units. The formula will be fixed cost by contribution per unit. Okay, fixed cost by contribution per unit. Here the fixed cost of 20,000 given in the problem, contribution per unit is 5 rupees as per calculation 1. Okay, 20,000 by 5 is equal to 4,000 is the break even quantity. At production and sales of 4,000 units, the organization will get no profit, no loss. Okay, when the quantity of production and sales is 4,000, there is no profit, no loss. That is, the total revenue is equal to total cost. Then 6, break even point in rupees. Fixed cost by PV ratio is the formula. Fixed cost 20,000 given in the problem and PV ratio is 0.25. Okay, 0.25. So here 20,000 by 0.25, it comes to 80,000 rupees is a break even sales, break even point. At the sales of 80,000 rupees, the organization will get neither profit nor loss. So there is no profit, no loss region. Now the graphical expression of break even chart. When we take the quantity on OX axis and the cost and revenue on OY axis, then the O and TR, total revenue curve, is linear, and similarly total cost also in linear, because the selling price per unit is remain constant. That's why this total revenue is a straight line, and variable cost per unit also remain constant. Hence the total variable cost also curve also a linear straight line. So the fixed cost remain constant at all levels of output. Okay, so the total cost, which means fixed cost plus total variable cost, total together is total cost, TC. Okay, the break even point is the intersecting point of total revenue and total cost. Total revenue and total cost, where these two curves are intersected, it is called a break even point. At OQ quantity, it is a break even quantity, and OM is the value at where the break even, there is no profit, no loss is arised. Total revenue TR must be equal to TC. This is called the graphical presentation of break even chart. What are the assumptions of break even analysis? Here all elements of cost, that is production, administration, selling, distribution, etc., can be divided into fixed and variable cost components. Here the costs are divided into two elements, so that is fixed cost and variable cost. If the cost can be costs are divided, then only break even point can be calculated. Otherwise we can't calculate break even point. Okay, if in a long run, all expenses are variable costs only. There are no fixed costs. In such a case, we cannot calculate break-even point. So, next variable cost remain constant per unit of output. It assumed that the variable cost per unit remain constant. Then next the fixed cost remain constant, total fixed cost remain constant at all volumes of output. Different levels of output, the fixed total fixed cost remain constant. This is another assumption. Then selling price per unit remain constant at all levels of output. Okay, here there are no change in inventory. That means no proper opening stocks, no closing stocks. It assumes the all product produced will be sold off. That is selling price per unit remain constant at all levels of output. Then volume of production is the only factor that influence the cost. Okay, the cost may be influenced by number of factors, but it assumed that only the volume of production influence the cost of production. It is another assumption. Where will another assumption is there will be no change in the general price level. Okay, the general price level remain constant. There is no inflation or depression in the economy. The economy must be remain constant. The general price level remain constant. Then another assumption, there is only one product. In case of multiple products, the sales remain constant. Okay, here break-even analysis assumes only one product. What is the quantity of a product? What is the sales of product? Single product. If there are multiple products, then the selling price remain constant, though there are multiple products. These are some assumptions. Under these assumptions, the break-even point will explained. Then use of break-even analysis. The uses of break-even analysis are as follows. Okay, first one helps in determining the sales volume. How much quantity is to be sold to meet at least the total cost. It can be determined. If a newly established business has to decide what is the quantity to be produced to sustain their what is position in the market, at least they should not get losses. Though at least they what is earn the total cost incurred, so that it is one of the benefit to estimate the volume of sales. Then second, forecast profit if estimated of revenue and costs are available. Okay, we can forecast the profit on which quantity the profit will be, what is the quantity can be determined, estimated. The revenue and the cost will be estimated, what is influence the profit. So, we can estimate the future profit. Then next, help in appraising the effects of change on volume of sales and cost of production. We can examine, we can analyze the change in volume and change in what is production with the help of break-even analysis. It assists in making choice of product and determining the product mix. Okay, break-even point is helpful in determining the product mix and the product what is product which product is to be sold and which product mix will be made. So, it is a supporting or helping tool in managerial decision making. Then highlights the impact of increase or decrease in the fixed and variable cost. Okay, it can highlight the fixed and variable cost during the level of output. Then next, it studies the effect of high fixed cost and low variable cost. Okay, the fixed cost and variable cost influence the total cost, how they affect on the profit. If the fixed cost is less and variable cost is more, then the profit will be, the contribution will be very low. Okay. So, in this context, they can estimate the profitability. Then next use is makes a inter-firm profitability comparison. We can compare the firms profitability, which firm is more profitable, which is not. So, the firm efficiency can be estimated by comparing with other firms. Then last one, helps planning of each cash requirements for organization effectively. So, here break-even point helpful in the estimating the cash requirement. Okay, the liquidity must not disturbed and it should be available at all time. The cash must be available all time to meet the short-term obligations of the organization. What are the limitations of break-even analysis? These are shortfalls of break-even analysis. First one, fails to apply effectively in a multi-product situation. More than one product with different sales price, different margins, we cannot estimate, we cannot find the break-even point. Only single product we can estimate, we can calculate the break-even point. If there are multiple products, we cannot calculate a single break-even point for all these products. Then fails to be implemented in the situation where cost and price cannot be ascertained and where historical data is not available. Okay, the break-even point is always depends on the historical data. Only the historical data can used in determining the break-even point. Where the historical data is not available, we cannot determine the break-even point. Then next assumes fixed cost to be constant. It is one of the drawback, the fixed cost irrespective of level of production output, the fixed cost remain constant, but in real terms the fixed cost may not always constant. Beyond certain level, the fixed costs also change. Okay, beyond a certain level, up to certain level the fixed cost remain constant, we can expect, but beyond that level the fixed cost also vary in a direct proportion with the change in output. So, it is also a limitation of a break-even point. The next limitation assumes that the quantity of goods produced is equal to the quantity of goods sold, which may not be always true. Okay, this break-even analysis assumes that all produced will be sold up. There is no inventory, opening stocks and closing stocks. But in actual situation, the entire production cannot be sold. Certain closing stocks may be formed. In that situation, we cannot ascertain the break-even point when there are certain stocks available. Then next, it ignores the change in selling price. Selling price change. The selling price is influenced by number of factors: the competition, demand, supply, government policies, taste and preference of customers. Like that, number of factors affect the selling price, not only the cost of production. But the break-even analysis ignores all such other factors which influence the selling price. Then last one, it ignores market conditions. Here, the market conditions ignored by BEP analysis. Market condition means the competition, advertisement effect, the demand, taste and preference of customers, and the income level of customers, etc. They also affect the sales price. So that this analysis, break-even analysis, ignores the market conditions. Okay, these are different elements which comes under the drawbacks of break-even analysis. Now, last part topic is margin of safety. Margin of safety is a positive difference between the sales volume and the break-even volume is known as margin of safety. So it is the excess over the actual sales and the break-even sales. The difference between actual sales and break-even sales is known as margin of safety. The larger the margin difference, the safer the organization is from a loss-making situation. When the margin of safety is more, the organization is kept in a safe position. Okay, it can be calculated either in cash or in units. When we calculate the margin of safety by actual sales minus break-even sales, it is a simple formula. Actual sales and break-even sales. The difference between these two elements is called margin of safety, or margin of safety in cash is equal to profit by PV ratio. It is another formula. Profit by PV ratio, we can ascertain the margin of safety. Then margin of safety in units of profit by contribution per unit. This is also another formula. With this, we complete today's session. The PV, profit volume, PV ratio along with the cost volume profit analysis. Okay, thank you.